Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we're here with yet another PW Unlimited podcast. Nick, what's going on?
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Wednesday show for August 15th, 2018. It's been a decent day. We got Voltage Dylan, Fully Clutch, Rodney Shepard, Teddy 25, AJ Milano. Isn't that a cookie? No, that's Milano.
It's Milano.
Crazy
Alyssa
JJ.
Milano.
Crazy JJ 26. All the great people. If you guys do want to text into the show with any questions, comments, anything you guys want to say today, you can text in to 510-906-1341. That is 510-906-1341. And I want to kick it off with a text from the 734, because they had a very cute message, and I liked it. It says, hey guys, hopefully you read this on stream. It would be heartwarming for me to hear your reactions. I just want to say thank you guys for being there for me. I love watching your podcast. I've been going through a stressful time right now. As I found out, I will need back surgery in late October.
Ooh.
Good luck with the back surgery, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope it goes well. And we love you too. We always like making content. So, thanks for being a fan, dude. You guys are the best. Someone from the 504 just asked if we could talk about the all-in matches a little bit. That's the plan for today. But before we get into that, I have a question for Tim.
Okay.
There is a show that I was binge watching last Friday, and I was binge watching more today.
Sure.
Sergio, yeah, we'll talk about the G1 final as well. It's called Storage Wars.
Oh, I used to watch this show all the time.
I fucking love Storage Wars.
It's not as good as it used to be.
It's like Storage Wars, like Texas, god awful.
No, like just normal Storage Wars, because half of the original people are gone, or someone can't make it, so they add these new people in. That it seems more scripted than ever now too.
Do they have the yeah guy still there?
I don't think so. I know he left for a while because he was having disputes with the people that were in charge of the show, and I don't know. I haven't watched any new episodes in a while.
Yeah, it's rather interesting. I like the show a lot.
Okay. I like the show, yeah.
So before we get into wrestling, I have a really funny story from last night at about like 2 a.m. So I'm up browsing Groupon. I like perusing Groupon to see if there's anything cool that I can get deals on. And I see a deal for a MacBook. They're like, like $400. It was through some website. And I was like, oh, cool. So I was like, I wonder how much that would be like, after taxes and everything. Accidentally clicked pay with Apple Pay. And then spent like over $1,000 on that website, and I accidentally bought a MacBook. I accidentally bought a fucking MacBook Pro. I was thoroughly disappointed in myself. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Luckily I was able to cancel it this morning. I went to bed just like, well, I'm either going to be down $1,000 in a new MacBook or up nothing at all and no debt.
Dang.
At Raphael Henderson, it says right in the title card up there, at PWUnlimited is our Twitter. So Tyler says, hey, can I get y'all's thoughts on the Matt retirement? Let's talk about the Matt Hardy retirement a little bit.
Yeah.
This is if so what he's making out to be true. It seems like Matt Hardy's going to kind of be done as a wrestler.
At least full time.
At least a full-time wrestler. I mean, when you're a guy like that who's wrestled for this long and has done so much in the wrestling business, and have had your body beaten to all hell, the guy's back and pelvis like meshed.
They're fusing together.
It's just not good, man. That's just not healthy. I don't think the doctors really recommend that to you.
Yeah, I know Meltzer wrote last week that he's going to try some, I guess you could say, experimental new kind of therapy to help with the back pain.
So we can assume that he's not going with DDP yoga.
I don't know, unless DDP's got some new workout plan that Matt's going to guinea pig. I don't know.
I don't know. This whole Matt Hardy stuff is really, it bums me out because like Matt and Jeff were two of my favorites growing up because they're the ones that, like, when you're a kid, like, these guys are fun to watch. This is the entertainment aspect of, sports entertainment.
Well, see,
I loved watching
the Hardys is what got me into wrestling, because I've told the story on here before, how new kid moved in across the street, said, hey, come over, I'm going to watch wrestling. I'd never really seen more than like 1 or 2 episodes because my grandfather used to watch it. And I was like, okay, I've never really watched or paid attention. And so we're watching and not really paying attention. He goes, watch these guys. They're called the Hardy Boys. I saw their match. I don't remember who they were against. May have been, honestly, I couldn't tell you who they were against, but I know it was a Hardy's match. And ever since then, I was like, how do I watch this all the time? So, I mean, the Hardys is what got me into wrestling. Like,
yeah, and I mean, they were always like they were the fun thing to watch. You got like genuine enjoyment just being like, hey, oh God, look at how quick these guys move.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It really sucks. I do wish the best for him, though. That's the kind of thing where when you get up there in age, it gets a lot harder to wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, you never want to see a guy wrestle past his prime. For example, just look at Foley. You never wanted to see him wrestle past you knew what his prime was.
Them TNA days.
Same with Flair. You never really wanted to see him wrestle past his prime.
Well, the whole thing was Flair never thought that he should have been retired at Mania. But Vince's whole thing was, I think you're too old.
Because he was. You're telling me it doesn't... Okay, there's a blurred line between entertainment when a guy gets hit with a steel chair and bleeds, and when a fucking, like, 95-year-old looking old man gets hit with a chair in TNA and he's covered from, like, head to toe in blood. Like, that's not enjoyable. Yeah, it's edgy and it's like, holy crap. It's not, like... I'm not like, oh, this is not a cool match.
Right.
So I do want to know now. Tim said his was the Hardys. What was either the match or the person that got you guys into pro wrestling? And I'd say mine would have to be Mysterio. I always liked Rey Mysterio. One of my buddies, his name was Horacio. He was one of my best friends growing up. He had like a whole bunch of like Rey Mysterio masks, and he dressed up as him once for Halloween. I was like, what the fuck is this? Are you like a superhero? You some kind of superhero? And he's like, nah, man, it's this. And he showed me. I was like, holy fuck, this is neat. I'd always liked Rey Mysterio. Getting older, I learned to like his WCW days a little bit more, kind of like how we talked about last week with the stuff with like Juventud a little bit. But what was your guys' entry? I got someone here saying Sting, interesting. Hardy's, Punk, or Cena, those are always really good ones. Flair's feud with Jay Lethal, it was okay. Derek Bochek says Sheamus and Orton. How old are you? 12?
Going back to the Ric Flair McFoley stuff, do you remember their I Quit match from SummerSlam 2006?
Yeah.
Those guys, you talk about covered in blood. Rick was just... He looked like Triple H from WrestleMania 20.
He looked like Eddie Guerrero from, what was it, No Way Out? Or it was either No Way Out or Backlash. We've got CM Punk, Cena, Batista. Those are all really good names. These are all, like, super, super cool names to get, to get introduced into wrestling by.
Right.
What was your first, like, oh, God, this stuff is stupid wrestling moment? You know what mine was? I'll tell you what mine was.
What?
When you got a guy like X-Pac,
uh-huh,
and he's got, his theme song, X-Pac, make some noise!
Yeah.
And then you get the X Factor theme.
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Cracker.
Coming with the X Factor.
And then it gets like, it's like
him, Albert, just incredible.
You messing with the X Factor, and then it turns into an Uncle Cracker. And if you guys don't know who Uncle Cracker song is, if you guys have like a super white uncle named Steve, who oftenly wears like wife beaters and like a stained white tank top and jean shorts and drinks, Bud Light, that's the song he would usually play at the parties.
Oh Lord!
It was What You Looking At. He had the option to choose between the Red Hot Chili Peppers or Uncle Cracker. And that motherfucker went with Uncle Cracker.
Who frickin' knows?
Oh, my God.
He was still kind of not all there at that time.
The 585 says, I just started wrestling right back to Mania 33.
Dang.
Getting into it new. It's kind of interesting talking to people who are getting into wrestling today.
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird thing to think about.
Especially it's not like they're kids getting into it today. It's like adults that are like, I used to watch it. And my friend got me back into it, or I'm 30 years old, I've never watched it, and why haven't I found this in my life before?
Ooh, the finger poke of doom was the worst. Yeah, that's a bad one.
That was before I started watching. I really never watched, because, like I said, the kid that moved in across the street didn't watch WCW, so I never really knew about WCW much. I could tell you, I started watching in 98, and I maybe saw 5 episodes of WCW before they were bought by WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody that I knew that watched wrestling was only WWF. So I never really knew, what's this WCW? I've seen it a couple times flipping channels, but I never really was like, I don't know. I don't know any of these guys. It's not familiar to me.
It was a very interesting moment. My defining WCW moment was when I forget the announcer of WCW. Oh god, I forget his name.
Tony Schiavone?
Yeah, it was probably Shivani when he goes, and Vince Russo strikes again. It was just like, that's just the most, like, it sums up WCW in the like end of 99 into 2000. It sums up WCW.
Basically.
Just Vince Russo strikes again.
Right.
Should make a fucking Star Wars sequel called Vince Russo Strikes Again. In case you guys were wondering kind of what else is on the docket for today, we will be talking a little bit of All In with the car. We'll be talking a little bit of G1. I want to personally talk a little bit about the state of pro wrestling. I recorded today a hot take for it.
Interesting.
And I felt like, nah, I kind of want to do this on the live show.
Okay.
And we can pull it if we want. But I do want to talk the kind of like where pro wrestling is right now. And I mean, do you want to get into that now? Would you rather talk of the All In stuff? What do you want to do?
Let's do All In first, because that won't take too long.
That actor who won the WCW title, yeah, David Arquette.
David Arquette. Hey, don't diss David Arquette. I love Ready to Rumble.
Dude gave a nice diamond cutter at that one show.
Hey, I love Gordy. Ready to Rumble.
I never saw it. I had self-respect.
You've never seen Ready to Rumble?
I mean, of course I've seen it, but I've never like actually sat down and like, I'm gonna watch Ready to Rumble.
I've seen that movie so many times.
You seem proud about that.
I love Ready to Rumble.
Isn't Cena in that?
Cena is in there briefly. He's a
like
background character working. He's a background character, not even character. He's just a background guy.
He's an extra.
Working out in a gym. Yeah, he's an extra.
I think it was like Gold's.
They're trying to like get people to help them to go up against Diamond Dallas Page, and they're trying to find Goldberg at the gym.
So if there's anywhere you're gonna find Goldberg, it's a gym or a motorcycle shop.
Right.
Anyway, let's talk about the current standing card for All In, because there's some pretty interesting, almost a dream style matchups on there.
A new name was added to the over budget battle royal today.
I almost said Brian Zane. Brian Cage.
Yes, sir. So on to the pre-show, which is called All In 0 Hour, which will be aired for free, an hour-long special. Well, I don't even know if you can call it a special. Just an hour-long pre-show on WGN America. Now, I know people are going to ask.
If you have Comcast, that's channel 33 on Comcast.
I don't know what it is on. What I have Dish.
$2 from Chris McNutt. Medusa dropped the WWE title in the trash bin in WCW. That was another like crap moment, literally.
So as far as this 0 hour, I don't know if, say, you live outside of the United States and just aren't able at all to get WGN America. I don't know if this first hour is going to air on Fight or the Honor Club service. That's something that they haven't said yet.
Speaking of Fight TV,
do
you know where I'm going with this?
We can do that right after. We'll go into that right after.
Do you have the code?
No, I do not. I have to go back and look for it. Yeah.
Okay. There could be a potential way where you guys can watch All In for free on Fight.
Free?
Oh, I believe, isn't it like $15?
I have to look into it.
Okay, we'll look into it.
Okay, so we have the pre-show, the over-budget Battle Royal, which right now is Jordan Grace, Moose,
Lover,
Rocky Romero, Colt Cabana,
boom boom,
Ethan Page, and Brian Cage. So that's 2 Impact Wrestling superstars.
That is 2 Impact Wrestling superstars. I like it.
Also on the pre-show, we do have the Briscoes taking on SoCal Uncensored's Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky.
Kazarian's pulling double duty?
No.
No. That's a Daniels. Never mind.
Daniels in a singles match against Stephen Amell on the main card. We then have Okada taking on Marty Scurll. Joey Janela with Penelope Ford in his corner taking on Hangman Page. We've got Madison Rayne versus Britt Baker versus Chelsea Green versus Tessa Blanchard in a 4-way.
That's going to be fun.
Jay Lethal will be defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against the winner of the over-budget Battle Royal.
Jordan Grace, new Ring of Honor World Champion, calling it right now.
I mean, is she still the Black Label Pro Champion?
I don't give a fuck. She's going to win it all.
We then have Kenny Omega versus Pentagon and 6-man tag team match. Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandito taking on the Golden Elite, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Kota Ibushi. And with that, somebody asked, I think it was Nick Jackson on Twitter, I want to say, if there was any way they can say, what's going to main event. And all he said was 6-man. He didn't say anything else but 6, the number 6, and the word man. So that's leading us to believe that their match, the 6-man tag team match, will be the main event. I thought it was going to be this match, Nick Aldis defending the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship against Cody. I thought that would
Cody
go on
has to win that belt, right?
I would assume
he has to win that.
But, well, I guess.
I don't know. We'll
But that is the current card for All In. It's ready. What would I? 8 matches for the main card, 2 matches for the hour-long pre-show.
So is that the full card?
They haven't said if it's the full card or not.
But it probably is.
But it might be. Maybe they add one more. Maybe they add one more match.
Well,
I think
no matter
what.
Card,
I think the main card is going to go 3 hours, and then you have the 1 hour pre-show.
We will be doing predictions for it.
Predictions and a post-show, yes.
Predictions and a post-show. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy that a lot. What match are you guys looking forward to most? Feel free to text it in to 510-906-1341. That's 510-906-1341. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the current state of professional wrestling.
Sure.
Because here's the thing with the current state of professional wrestling. Back in the 80s, when the arrival of the 80s came and the arrival of Hulk Hogan came, there was a clear boom. That's when people really started getting interest. Jim Cornette has said that Hulk Hogan was 10% man, 90% media creation. And we noticed that boom in the 80s, and I guess you could call the Attitude Era, 2000s area, another kind of boom period, almost like a Renaissance period. You know, wrestling's back in the graces of people, but now it's in a different kind of grace. It's not with, you know, the kids and the parents are like, oh, look at that good, wholesome family fun. Look at that man drop his leg on a Saudi Arabian man. Go America. It became kind of like car crash television. It became, you know, the 13 and up audience was like boobs and blood and other things. And there is also some wrestling in there and somewhat, but The Rock is here. And it's very interesting for me right now because when you think about it, there is so much good going on in professional wrestling. You've got SmackDown moving over to the Fox network, which is going to provide it with a brand new audience of people that either don't have cable, don't pay for cable. All you need is an antenna and you can watch SmackDown. NXT gives you long-term storytelling that everyone complains that the main roster doesn't have it. I understand that feeling. NXT has that down to a T. They understand how to do it. They're doing it with Tommaso and Gargano right now. Raw sometimes can be treacherous to get through, especially at a 3-hour show. But some weeks they really blow it out of the water, and it gets truly, truly outstanding. Alex, I don't think we did this conversation like 3 weeks ago. I think I brought it up, and I talked about it very shortly. But I want to
No, you did.
embark. Oh, did we?
A little bit, but keep going.
Well, I was just going to say you also have the Ring of Honor New Japan selling out Madison Square Garden, and you also have, you know, All In taking place, which is an independently funded show, not even by a company, but by wrestlers themselves. It's at this point where there's something for everyone, and that's just freaking awesome. And it's getting to be to a point for me personally where you look at professional wrestling and you look at it in a new light. And there was a point where I used to be embarrassed. I used to be like, yeah, I like wrestling. Please don't make fun of me, or please don't, you know, please tell me you still have a crush on me, even though I like wrestling. And it's gotten to the point where it's like, hey, man, wrestling's super fucking cool right now, because if you really like flippy shit, there's something for that. If you like, you know, the big muscular guys, there's something for that. If you like long-term storytelling, there's something for that. If you just like casually watching, there's something for that. There's something for every single form of fan, and I think that's what's just become the kind of the great thing with pro wrestling at this time, you know. You've got, and Teddy 25 brings up another point. It's something that I completely forgot. You got 205 Live. It's basically the cruiserweight division of WCW, just a little bit more watered down, in my opinion, because they're not really on such a stage that I feel like they're on too big of a stage, and they're putting fish in shark water, not in fish tanks. They're not starting them in fish tanks and then letting them grow. They put them in the big boy water and said, well, I hope you know how to swim. And I feel like a lot of those guys can't swim right now. And it's just, I'm getting genuinely happy with the current state of pro wrestling. I just wanted to talk about that for a quick minute. The hot take is a little bit longer, so we may just release that, and this may not even go out. Rumors and Innuendo says, I think they need to quit scripting promos. And I don't, you know, as much as it kind of feels like they're scripting promos, that's all right. Because trust me, those guys don't want their promos scripted either. Do you really think guys like that look at their scripts and go, "Oh, this is perfect. This is fucking brilliant"?
No. I know in MLW, because what was it? Shane Strickland was just on Wrestling Observer Live with Brian Alvarez, and he asked him about that. He's like, "Hey, you know, you worked for Lucha Underground, where everything is 100% scripted." Like Shane Strickland literally said, "You go and film for Lucha Underground, you don't just get like, oh, here's your promo, read it, remember it. No, it's like a movie TV script where it's like, here's your lines, and then it says react to noise in background. Like, so that's how Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground is scripted out like a TV show. But he said in MLW, it's more of Court Bauer writes it all out. You know, he writes the show up and everything, and then he comes to the guys and he's like, all right, this is what your segment is. Here's what your promo is about. Here's some key things I want you to say. As far as everything else, let's work it out together.
Yeah, and that's interesting to me, man. That whole Lucha Underground thing, that's got to be tough for guys.
It's literally done like a television show or a movie where it's completely full script. So, I mean, some of those guys, now they can say, you know, I've got the experience not just being scripted on a wrestling show, but basically being scripted on a television show with actual, you know.
I didn't think about that.
So they can put that in their resumes.
Whoa, that's fucking true.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's neat.
Because it's all done by actual TV people, for the most part.
Right, and it looks like when you watch it, it looks like a telenovela. What are they? Telenovelas?
Yeah.
Our Spanish-speaking fans, is it pronounced telenovela?
Yeah.
Or am I whiting that down for you guys?
You've got wrestling people working as producers for matches like Chavo and stuff, but I mean, I think it's Mark Burnett's like the main executive producer.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Chavo. I like Chavo.
Dun.
That theme song was so bad. Nothing will beat Uncle Cracker, though. I'm really excited for that Kenny Omega Penta match.
Oh, yeah. That should be really good. Kenny Omega is a little banged up, though.
Yeah, he is. You want to talk about that?
I mean, there's not really much to say.
Hold on! $2 from Chris McNutt.
What about Impact Wrestling? What about Impact Wrestling?
Yeah, that definitely has to do something with the current, pro wrestling boom almost.
No,
God, the fact that Impact's fun again, Slammiversary was a fucking hit. It's becoming a lot more enjoyable. If you guys did watch the Fightful Wrestling Weekly, I did mention how I feel like give it a few more months, let it run a little bit longer, keep doing what you're doing, and Impact could be a legitimate #1 contender against WWE again.
I know there's some rumors. I'm not going to bring them up because I don't believe them yet. That there's some big things that could be happening at Bound for Glory, but they haven't been confirmed. So I'm not going to say anything. But if what I heard is true, everybody's going to be shocked at what happens at Bound for Glory. Or could be shocked.
I don't even know what it is. Oh, wait. Do I know what it is? You told me, right?
No, I just heard this last night.
Someone could be winning something at Bound for Glory. You told me.
Well, it's who could possibly defeat Aries for the world title.
Text me real quick.
All right.
Text me who it is.
But anyways, I don't even know.
I'm gonna look at chat here for a minute. Who do you guys like more? Will Ospreay or Zack Sabre Jr.? Zack Sabre Jr. I like submission wrestling. So who will cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase? Whoever's holding it. TNA once produced a TV show Ring KA King for India. That's neat. I didn't know that. This is something that Gabriel Perez. You brought up something that's kind of been going on a little bit in the world of professional wrestling. Something's going on with that man, Christopher Jericho. He's got something going on.
I mean, he did post on Twitter today. He said 2019.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yes. You told me that.
Okay. He did say something about
That's really funny that we just started.
He did post a tweet today saying that 2019 is going to be a big year for him. # free agent Jericho or # Jericho free agent, something along those lines.
So, dumbass, stupid, ugly, smelly, dumb, I hate you, Brad Shepard, is reporting that Chris Jericho is going to pick up that belt at Bound for Glory.
And then drop it on the cruise.
And then drop it on the cruise. $5, Chris.
They said a lot of stuff on their show last night that I don't believe, but...
Hold on. Does Impact Wrestling do scripted, and do you think their promos are 100% real? I got a mix of both. I'm assuming there's always going to be scripts, but there's some notes.
I mean, every show is going to have some sort of a script.
Right, but it's how
yeah.
you can follow by it. Someone from the 517 in the text line just says, I hate Ambrose's new look. Dude looks like he just got out of prison for murder. And now he's back. He's like your deranged uncle. He's like, I am back, and I'm going to kick some ass. But his haircut makes him look like a bushwhacker.
Looks a little bit like a Triple H.
He looks like a mix of Triple H, a bushwhacker, and Drew Gulak. And Sean's View.
No, Triple H
if Sean's
and
View looked
Bobby Roode. He's like in between Triple H and Bobby Roode.
Bob Roode. Oh, goodness gracious. You know, there's a lot of... I want to talk about 2K19 a little bit. Are you guys excited for 2K?
I'm hyped for that Daniel Bryan showcase mode.
They hyped the fuck out of that showcase mode for Bryan, and I'm not going to lie, kind of sold me on it, man.
Yeah. I will.
It really sold me on it.
I already have the game pre-ordered.
Oh, do you?
Heck yeah.
I don't yet.
I mean, I've only got $10 down on it, but...
Yeah, 10's a 10. Holds you a copy.
Yeah. I just need to get the other...
What edition?
80.
What edition?
The not
deluxe?
The deluxe, not the collectors. I don't need the physical stuff.
Okay.
I just need all the other stuff.
I would like the Hall of Fame ring. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because if you get the deluxe edition, you get everything you get in the collector's edition other than... I think there's some Ric Flair. There's a Ric Flair pop. There's a Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame replica ring. And there's one other thing. Gabriel Perez says Jericho better be on 2K19. I'm 99% sure he is because his character model was shown on the screenshots for Towers mode.
Yep. So, someone from the 649 says, do you think some of the 205 Live superstars deserve to be on main? Now, that's a really good question because I feel like 205 Live was made because these guys deserve to be on main, but there's not enough time to fit them on main.
205 Live was made because there was a... WWE saw a need to bring in some of these flashy high flyer guys with the Cruiserweight Classic. Cruiserweight Classic got over really well, like really big, and they're like, how can we use these guys, yet we don't have enough space for them? What do we do? And that's why they created 205 Live. Because they got over in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Mm-hmm. Kristen McNutt with another $5. Is there a rumor of AJ Lee appearing in the showcase for Daniel Bryan?
All right, I know what she's talking about. I would assume they will talk about it in maybe a cutscene, the AJ Lee Daniel Bryan stuff, if they do the Sheamus WrestleMania match.
Here's the thing, though.
AJ won't be in the game.
Do you remember? I sent you this tweet the other day. Do you remember when they couldn't afford the licensing rights to Mike Tyson? So it's just some generic Asian, not Ishii, in the game?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? So it was like 2K 15. And they had some fake guy that almost looked like a shitty created Ishii.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ishii, you want to talk a little bit of Ji Hwan?
Sure. I mean, I did the live show after. You didn't really give your thoughts yet.
I liked Tanahashi. That's how I say it. Tanahashi. I like Tanahashi winning. I think that was a good win.
I know a lot of people are mad that
I don't think Kota needed it.
It wasn't Kota Ibushi. But here's the thing. Tanahashi's 42 years old. This may be the last time that he's going to, he may only have a year or two left before he's no longer a full-time wrestler or, just not wanting to be
the Matt Hardy effect.
Not wanting to be a top guy.
Correct.
I mean, Tanahashi, this was his 17th G1.
Fucking hell. I can't even count that high.
That's what Kevin Kelly said. It was his 17th G1.
That's a couple
It's
G1s.
the third time he's won it. So, I mean, I think he's going to start winding down. He's got, he's had multiple injuries over the last couple of years. So you have him go to the Tokyo Dome, beat most likely Kenny Omega for the title, and then go from there. I think he's going to, before the Tokyo Dome show in January, defend his briefcase against Okada. Because he did do a interview where he was like, the match had no end. Okada technically didn't lose to me, so maybe I'll give him another opportunity. He didn't right out say, I'm going to defend the briefcase against him, but he hinted at it. So they can maybe do that.
Such an honorable man. What the fuck? I'd be like, no, I'm not facing you again, motherfucker.
So they can maybe do that in Long Beach, or they can do that on the main October show.
How cool would that be to see that go down in Long Beach, dude?
Yeah.
How sweet would that be? I'd love to see that. You know, so New Japan has a lot of cool stuff going for it, especially with that Long Beach show. But here's my thing with that G1. Touching on it very briefly here. Congratulations, Tanahashi. First of all, this probably would be his last G1. Probably the last time we're gonna see him in a highlight, unless he wins that IWGP Heavyweight Title belt. Continuing on a little bit, I don't think kosher. I don't think kosher salt really needed that. I don't think Kota Ibushi really needed that victory because, you know, that dude's gonna be over like fucking Grover any goddamn where he goes. Anything he does, he's going to be over. So I think that was a lot of people's worry was, did he just get buried in front of us? No, but he didn't get buried.
You also know why they wanted him to win, right?
Why?
They wanted Kenny Omega versus Kota Ibushi to main event the Tokyo Dome. That's what people wanted to see.
Right, but that wouldn't really make sense right now. I feel like in order for that to happen, you got to have like I feel like that you need a blood type thing.
Now, I know Kenny did say that his next opponent's most likely going to be like challenging for the title, Ishii. So they could do that match in Long Beach, which would be actually pretty cool because
we'll be there.
Their first Long Beach show, Kenny beat Ishii with I think it was the final round of the US title tournament.
He won that belt. Yeah, he won that. He won it there, right?
Yeah.
Yo, let's talk a little bit about that US belt. Because we've got Cody in there now.
So basically,
I like that.
Basically, what happens is, if you beat a champion during G1, you can say, hey, maybe I deserve a title match, or hey, maybe I deserve a title match.
Everyone beat Juice.
Basically.
Fucking mirror beat Juice.
And so you've got a lot of guys that say that they deserve a title shot because they pinned the champion. So then Cody gets flown into Japan for one day to work a tag team match, and he pins the champion. He grabs the belt and the mic, and he just goes, you Kairi Sane ripoff, I'm going to be the next United States champion.
Hell yeah.
But
so fine with that.
Zack Sabre Jr. also said that he wants to take the U.S. title from Juice in America.
Ooh. Nah, I think he keeps it in America and he drops it in Japan or something.
Unless the Long Beach show is Cody versus Juice and Cody gets the title.
That'd be neat. I'd like that again. Cody versus Juice, I feel like would be a great match.
Yeah, I think it'd be really, really good.
I think that'd be fun to watch.
Cody's first New Japan match was against Juice at the Tokyo Dome 2 years ago.
Really?
I can double check, but I'm almost 100% positive of that. Wrestle Kingdom 11.
I think that match would be fun. I think Juice is a great character, and I think Cody and Juice have very similar wrestling styles, so it would mesh very well. It wouldn't look like one guy's carrying the other, like in that Kota match he had, where Kota was clearly carrying fucking Cody.
Yeah, Cody defeated Juice Robinson in a 9.5-minute match. It was his first ever match in New Japan.
That's pretty neat. Alex Rodriguez, oh shit, you guys are going to the Long Beach show. I'm probably going. Yeah, well, most likely we'll be there. 90% going to be there. And if you're going to be there, Alex, please don't come find us. I don't want to interact with you. Please go away. Please don't even come to the streams anymore. Leave the Discord. Unfollow me on Twitter. I'm kidding. I love you, buddy. Tim, what are we going to talk about?
I'm just looking at the text line here.
Text line. If you guys do want to text into the show, you can text in at 510-906-1341. That is 510-906-1341.
Someone says, do you like the feud of AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I think it's going really, really well. And I think, we'll do our predictions on Friday morning. Yep. I think this feud, I'm not going to tell you who I think wins the title, but I think this feud goes past SummerSlam. I don't think this feud can die just, the one match.
Yeah, no, it won't just be the one match.
631 says, do you think it's time for Bobby Lashley to turn heel and cost Roman the title?
Nah, he's not going to cost him the belt, but I do think it's time for him to get a little more character development.
I do know that following
SummerSlam,
the house show right now, main events
fuck was that?
I was trying to hold in a burp. Anyways,
fucking alien come out of you, Jesus.
The house show main events for the Raw brand are Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman.
I like it. Kyle Winstone says, why not look at the comments here to talk about? Because we went to the text line because we want to get people at the text line to talk. Yeah, we're looking at both. Lucas Roller just said Hell in a Cell. What about it?
Well, he's probably saying put AJ and Joe inside Hell in a Cell.
That'd be neat.
That would be pretty sick.
No, I feel like those two guys can just put them in an X Division match, actually.
You mean you talk about Ultimate X?
Oh, Ultimate X, yeah. Do you guys think Jay White turning on Chaos and joining the firing squad can work out? No.
I can see him parting ways from Chaos, but he does not need to join the firing squad. Nope.
No, he does not. I would rather AJ versus Joe be the main event instead of Brock and Roman at SummerSlam. I feel like a lot of people feel that way. Tim, you were telling me that you feel like Brock might win that match.
Well, I don't.
You tell me there could be. Let's talk about this match. Let's talk about the SummerSlam main event, Brock and Roman, because this is the kind of match that this time in April.
All I'm gonna say is Brock's supposed to be on Raw Monday. I mean, that's all we know. So could he go to Raw not as the champion? Yes, but why would Brock Lesnar show up not as the champion? Brock Lesnar, his character,
I have a good thought on
my thing is if he loses. His character is not somebody that wants to just come and show that he's lost. If Brock loses that title, he's just not going to show up until he thinks he's ready to take that title back.
So, here's my thing. Okay. I feel like we had this talk back in April, at your house before the match started when I said, who do you think's going to win, man? And we both said Roman. We were just like, it's just going to be Roman. It's going to get it over with now. I say Roman loses. Or Roman wins. Roman wins.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say, man, Brock does show up. He shows up to wreak fucking havoc and gets fired.
I mean, I can see that too.
I think that's just going to be, he's going to leave looking strong. He's going to want that. He's going to want to leave looking strong.
I know some people are trying to predict you have Roman win. Brock then goes freaking crazy SummerSlam 2000. I'll probably get this wrong. When he fought Orton, was that 16?
Oh, like give him the elbows?
No, not just that. It's just he just goes crazy. Like when he beat the crap out of Orton, then he F5 Shane. He goes crazy after he loses, and he's trying to beat down Orton. And then I've seen a lot of people try to predict as he's beating down Roman, Seth and Dean come out to make the save, Shield back together.
No,
I've seen that be predicted by a lot of people.
That's so dumb.
I don't like the idea. I've also seen people say that Heyman turns on Brock. You think he's going to align himself with Roman, and somebody like an AOP comes out
to attack it. You know what you can do to really
Brock Lesnar and take him out.
If you really want to make it worthwhile, and I'm sure Vince would be up for it, have Brock wreak havoc on Raw, and Vince comes out and like, Brock, get the fuck out. You are fired.
Yeah, you have Vince do it, not
you got it.
Not
yeah,
Triple
you gotta
H,
have
not
Vince.
Stephanie.
God, no, not Stephanie. Has to be Vince, because then that would correlate all the people would think, well, Vince is Brock is just Vince's guy. He loves Brock. I'm 10. It would really solidify that, like, all right, Roman's our new fucking champion. May not be what we want, but at least we're gonna have a full-time champion here on Raw. And he's gonna he's gonna dislocate his shoulder and have to relinquish the title after a night.
Now, what are your thoughts on Kurt Angle coming out and being like, I hope
Brock Lesnar is the first Universal Champion?
I hope
he should be doing that.
No, I hope Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar's ass. Saying that line.
I think it's stupid, and I want to give a special shout out to whoever is 323.
You gonna read it?
I'm not gonna read it, but I mostly want to say we have your phone number now. I hope you know that, buddy. We have your phone number.
Oh, dang!
Idiot, fucking dumbass.
You see the other one from 323?
We have your phone number, dude. You're an idiot. Anyway. It's the same guy. That's the sad part, because it's the same. Like, you can tell it's the same guy because it's the same app. Anyway, I don't. Well, number one in kayfabe theory, he's playing favorites, and I don't like that. He's playing favorites. You're supposed to be neutral.
Exactly.
But I do, in a non-kayfabe standpoint, I don't like the idea of him saying that, because I feel like he's just trying to pander to the crowd to try to get Roman over more, and it just feels forced.
Exactly. I feel
If Roman's ever gonna get over, he needs to do it naturally. It can't happen naturally for a long time now. You need to drop it. This Roman experiment needs to be dropped fucking tomorrow.
Also, here's the other question.
Drop it.
What heels do you have on Raw that can challenge Roman for the title?
You can turn Braun into this massive heel.
You can, but the crowd's never going to boo him.
You can turn you can make Owens more of a heel.
What do you got? Owens and Jinder challenging Roman for the title?
Here's the thing, you can make Owens more of a heel, not a funny heel.
Well, I got stuff to say about Owens, but I'm going to save it for the prediction show on Friday morning.
I got you. Oh God, I don't know. I really don't know. They're gonna have to do some kind of fucking shake-up after. You're gonna have to do something.
Well, there you go. There's something. People keep asking in the chat. Who do you think can get called up after SummerSlam from NXT?
Fuck.
I know a name that's been on
Dream.
That's what I say. That name has been on the possibilities list since after Mania.
What would he do? What would he do?
I'd say put him on SmackDown.
Yeah, I guess he could fit on SmackDown.
Put him on SmackDown.
I'm trying to think who from NXT can come up and do something. You know what I mean? I just don't want to call someone up for the sake of hey, your favorite's on the main roster now.
Right. I mean, I don't think they would this early, but Adam Cole's basically main roster made. He's like somebody that should have just came straight to the main roster, in my opinion. I like Undisputed Era, but I just think Adam Cole is just somebody
Adam Cole's a small setting guy.
Yeah, I think Adam Cole is going to get over well as a heel on the main roster. I think he's somebody like a lot of times when you say, "Oh, I love this guy in NXT," put him on SmackDown because SmackDown they won't hurt him. I think Adam Cole's somebody that could make the most out of being on Raw.
There's just too much on Raw as it is.
But you need another main event or upper mid-card heel. He could be that guy.
Who else could be that up? I mean,
well, I'm pulling up the NXT roster here. We've got, I
really don't think there's anybody.
I mean, Aleister Black, once he's cleared up, which
let me tell you something. If you want to just get the biggest boner or the biggest lady boner, just watch everything Aleister Black's ever done as part of the Sumerian Death Squad. Just fucking marvelous heel work.
So Triple H in today's NXT conference call was asked about Black's injury. Mm-hmm. He said it's very unfortunate. We don't know exactly the return time. Excuse me. And he also said with doing this who done it, who attacked him storyline, that could also keep him out longer than even, say he gets cleared in a month. If they have a plan for the storyline where he needs to be out for an extra month or closer to the Survivor Series takeover, then they'll keep him out longer if it helps that whodunit storyline. So just because he may get cleared in 3-4 weeks doesn't mean he's going to be back in 3-4 weeks. Because that storyline, Triple H said that they really want to play that storyline out well.
Right.
Looking at the NXT roster, and it's just
I want to mention something real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but I really want to mention this, and this is from Kyle Watson in the chat. He says, I feel worried with anyone that comes up from NXT moving up at this point, since the people are more than likely to get lost in the shuffle. Example, Sanity, Andre, Authors of Pain, Ember Moon. Now, here's the thing for me. Yes, it is very, very easy to get lost in the shuffle in the bright lights of the main roster. But guys like Andrade and guys like Sanity, you can't rule them out yet because they've just come up. They're still babies. They still have time. You can't expect a guy to be over in a month.
You can't expect everybody to come up from the main roster and be Finn Balor getting a title shot less than a month in.
And I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you why people think that. People think they want their guy to come up and be the best immediately because of guys like Vince Russo, who gave everybody in WCW a storyline. That's the issue. They think that everyone deserves a storyline, and which he doesn't. You pull up a guy from NXT, it could take 6 months for him to get popular, and that's fine. He's got to find his ground. He could just be shit on the mic.
Are you talking about
that's just no. I'm just saying in general. He or she.
The one hindrance I don't even know if I should say this. The one hindrance on Almas,
The language barrier.
the language barrier, where he can speak English, but sometimes his accent's just a little too thick for some people to understand him.
Same with like.
That's
Rusev.
why he's got Selena Vega, which helps. But if what we've heard of Vince in the past is true, Vince kind of sees that as a, I don't know.
As a hinder, not
a hindrance. That's the word I'm looking for. I mean,
Yeah.
It hasn't hurt Nakamura quite as much as you would think.
I don't know. The stuff with Jinder kind of hurt Nakamura, in my opinion.
I'm talking about the cutting promos and stuff. You know.
Oh, I want to mention $5 from Chris McNutt. What about Nikki Cross? And will she be a call-up in the main roster post SummerSlam?
Most likely. Assume.
Yeah, I would assume.
Now, looking at the NXT roster.
Yeah, hit me with that NXT roster.
So, talk about NXT. Triple H did say that Oney Lorcan's almost ready to come back.
Oh my God! Thank you. Fuck.
He did say Oney Lorcan. He said he didn't say how much longer, but he said Oney Lorcan's on the verge of coming back soon, and I believe he's back on the road with the NXT touring roster. Whether he's being used yet or not is unknown, because I didn't see anything from tonight's.
Call him up to Maine, give him the Universal belt, have him beat Brock and Roman in the same night, and then have him go over to SmackDown, beat AJ.
So
then fuck it, have him go over to like New Japan, beat Kenny, and just carry all the fucking belts.
Looking at the NXT roster, not taking into account Ciampa or Gargano, because I think that feud's gonna go till the end of the year.
Has to go to the Mania, the New York.
Maybe guys that I think could work on the main roster. Velveteen Dream.
Not yet. Give him a little bit more time to figure himself out down there.
Pete Dunne.
Oh, that's a really good one, but then that just means they're gonna have to sign him to a full-time contract, and I don't know if he wants that.
True. Mustache Mountain can be a fresh breath of air, however you say it.
Yeah, it's a fresh breath of air.
On the main roster as far as the tag team division goes, because they're different than any other tag team, and they're freaking great together. That's an amazing tag team. Did you know? Did you know?
Oh,
that the Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain match from 4 weeks ago on NXT television
5 stars.
is the first ever WWE non-pay-per-view televised 5-star match?
Yeah, we knew that when it happened, Tim.
Well, it was the first match given 5 stars by the Observer.
Yeah.
That was on regular WWE television, not a pay-per-view.
That's how goddamn good it is.
Yeah, and Triple H stated today.
Oh, you're also forgetting something.
What?
There is an NXT UK now.
True.
You can't really call him up now.
Okay, so in regards to that, Triple H was asked about that in the conference call today. He's like, they were like, when are we going to get an announcement on when we can watch this show? Triple H said, we have some things in the works that are not confirmed yet, so we can't announce anything yet. But we will announce something soon with that. So I don't know when we're going to hear anything. He did say that at first he wants to keep the UK guys just with the UK brand to get that brand established. And then once that brand is established, we could see crossover from regular NXT guys and UK guys on both shows.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants to get the UK guys over on their show, guys and girls, over on their show first.
Makes sense.
I mean, also looking at this NXT roster, I mean, the only other one that stands out to me that I can think could do well, you've got Dream, you've got Black, you've got Pete Dunne, and Adam Cole.
EC3?
I don't think... I can see him doing okay, but I think he can get pigeonholed like a Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
I think he can get stuck in...
No, I think his charisma's too good for that to happen to him.
Maybe over time, but he's not somebody that... Because like an Adam Cole, I can see Adam Cole show up on freaking Raw the night after SummerSlam and say, I want the IC title, and it just go over well. EC3 comes in and tries to do the same thing, and I don't think it goes over as well. I think he's somebody that needs a slow build on the main roster, unlike an Adam Cole or Pete Dunne, who can come to the main roster and just fly.
Yeah, I see what you mean there.
Or even Aleister Black.
Sergio Gomez is fucking Matt Riddle.
He's supposed to be a takeover.
Let him be a heel. Fuck it.
The king of bros.
The king of bros, not hoes.
But I mean, and then you say, well, what female can come up from NXT? It's like Nikki Cross.
That's rough.
But other than Nikki Cross, looking at this NXT roster, it's like I can see Candice LeRae getting over on the main roster just because she's already super popular from all of her indie stuff.
That's true.
But as far as the other females in NXT, I don't think any of them are ready. I mean, you got Dakota Kai, Aaliyah, Lacey Evans.
Not ready at all.
I mean, Shayna Baszler could work on the main roster.
Could she?
I think maybe you wait till...
If there are too many of her kind, the MMA fighter kind.
Not necessarily. And that's the other thing. Would they pair her with Ronda and turn her babyface?
No,
I think you give Shayna till like the end of the year or right after next year's Mania, and she'll be ready for the main roster. I mean, she could do it now.
But as a babyface?
No, I'm not saying a baby. No, Shayna Baszler's one of those that it's just like you look at her and you're like, heel. She can't be a babyface. She's just
exactly
a natural heel. But here's the issue with Shayna Baszler. She's 37 years old.
Yeah, she's a little up there in age.
You need to get her to the main roster. I'm not saying that, she's too old for the main roster. It's just like she's been doing, MMA for most of her life, and now she's doing pro wrestling. Most females in pro wrestling are retired before 35.
Yeah, definitely. Who's the eldest female on the roster, James or Natalia?
Mickie James is 39.
It's either James or Natalia.
I tell you right now.
Looking at the chat here, they're saying Keith Lee, Blazer versus Ronda would be a fun match.
I think Keith Lee, he'd be cool to see on the main roster, but I don't think the WWE main roster audience knows really who he is.
You know who could fit on main roster right now as a woman?
Who?
Bianca. I think Bianca's got it all.
I mean, she's an amazing athlete, but
she's a great athlete. She has charisma.
I don't know.
She is like all the charisma under the fucking sun. She is great. I think she has her thing with the hair whip. I think she's got it. And that came from I saw that in the chat from Tamina, but she doesn't really wrestle. Who said that in the chat?
Oh yeah. Tamina's 40, but she's been out for a while.
Child of Destiny said it. Yeah, remember when she came back for like, I don't know, like a month, and she was like, what was she in the Summer? Oh no, she was in the Money in the Bank match.
Was she in the Money in the... Yeah.
The first one.
Natty's 36 and Mickie is 38. Mickie will be 39 at the end of the month.
So will I.
Okay. Wait, when will Nikki... Or not Nikki. Natalia... Looking at the chat, someone says Deonna Purrazzo. No, yes! I think give her some time in NXT.
No. No, what? Just go ahead and sign Jordynne Grace. Just go ahead and sign Jordynne Grace to a full-time contract. Let her beat Brock.
Oh, Lord.
Let her beat Brock and Roman. Just beat them all. Yeah, I guess, Taryn, you're right. You want to see Bianca in like a good, long feud before she comes up. I understand your reasoning there. Before we wrap up here, folks, I do want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a rundown on what's going to be going on this week, because there is a lot of stuff, and I want to make sure that you guys are ready. And if you guys do follow us on Twitter, which is at PWUnlimited, you'll see that Tim made about 97 fucking tweets with the same photo.
It's on the community tab as well here on YouTube.
You also posted the wrong photo on the tweet for the show, by the way.
What do you mean?
You put the wrong photo.
I'll change it.
Do you even proofread anything?
Sometimes.
I love it. But, so to give you guys a rundown of what's going on this week, we have the podcast today. This is almost done. So let's go to tomorrow, Thursday, at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. This is the afternoon. So 10 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. We will be doing our NXT TakeOver Brooklyn predictions. That is going to be a live prediction show at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Friday as well at 6 a.m. Eastern and 3 a.m. Pacific, we're going to have the Fightful Wrestling Weekly. That's not live. That's always the schedule upload. But go ahead and check out the weekly. And once you're done watching the weekly, no matter what time you're watching it, we will be live at 10 a.m. Again, 1 p.m. Eastern, giving you our SummerSlam predictions. On Saturday, we will be live following TakeOver. So after TakeOver ends, tune right back in right here to Pro Wrestling Unlimited on YouTube. We will be live running it down. And the same thing on Sunday. We're going to be talking about SummerSlam right after the show stops right here on YouTube.
SummerSlam is going to be a long-ass show.
Exactly. So just keep that in mind. Remember, Thursday, 10 a.m., 1 o'clock Eastern, TakeOver predictions. Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific, Fightful Wrestling Weekly. Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific, SummerSlam predictions. Saturday, following TakeOver, recap. And SummerSlam, following TakeOver on Sunday, or following
SummerSlam.
Following SummerSlam on Sunday is the SummerSlam recap. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Nick. You can follow me on Twitter at PWU_Armstrong. You can follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited. Facebook at facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. And right here on the YouTube, be sure to check out our friends over at Fightful Online or Fightful.com. Tim, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TimmyBuddy. And I do have a question for you guys. Now, I know people keep saying, hey, bring us more news, bring us more news, bring us more news. So I'm going to start doing something where, a little more in conjunction with Fightful, kind of, where if there's a news story that, like, if I were to go to record the audio for it and it's, like, very short, it's something that's like a 20-second audio thing because there's not, it's like something that you guys should know, but there's not enough information for it. I will put it out as a video with just the text on the screen. No audio of me talking about it. But then I will put a link in the description for the Fightful article on that story so you guys can go read more if you want to. I want to know what you guys think of that. We did put one up today about Tenille Dashwood having some sort of a non-serious medical condition where she had to pull out of the ROH UK tour. So just let us know. We're going to do a couple of those videos tomorrow. It's not going to be the majority of our videos. The most will still have me talking about the news. But if there's something where it's like, I think this is good news, but we don't have enough information to actually like talk about it in depth, then I'll put it out with just the info on the screen and the link to the Fightful article. So I want to know over the next couple days while I do put these new formatted videos out, what you guys think. Let us know in the comments on those videos if you like it, if you don't like it, or if you think, hey, I like it, but maybe tweak it up this way a little bit.
Yeah, so definitely. Sergio already said not, Tim. We need your voice. No, we don't. Anyway, give us your thoughts on that, guys. You can always text it in or email it in or do whatever you got to do to get it in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Be sure to join the Discord, which I will link here, because we like to talk wrestling and we like to talk shitty memes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I spelled Discord wrong. Jesus Christ. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
See ya.